Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're going to be checking out the Montpellier character in the ship Montpellier. Here's the build. Cruiser's AA gun range is the base trait, and the more interesting part here, slot 3. Shell grouping, Cruiser's main guns when max 4%, incoming fire dispersion when max 10%, and then boost to the damage that we're going to be taking when we're hit 5% to that. So a little bit of a high risk, high reward type of a build. We're enhancing those slot 3 perks with Norm Scott, who boosts the grouping by 5% when he's maxed, as I have him, and Vian, who I think it's either 4 or 5% to the dispersion, incoming dispersion. That's basically worsening the accuracy of the ship firing at us, okay? So we're combining Vian, the slot 3 perk, the ship's camo when maxed. I think it's a 4.5% maybe boost to the incoming dispersion, and the concealment mod. Kind of an overlooked part of that slot 3 concealment mod is it also increases the fire dispersion. So when we're stacking these 4 things together, this ship becomes very hard to hit, at least with any consistency. So incoming dispersion builds, I do use them on a number of ship lines, and I think the player base as a whole kind of overlooks them. Alright, now you can conceivably put them on every ship in the game and have some success. So I would advise you guys to kind of start thinking about those. I can always tell when I'm shooting at someone that has those strong builds on there, because you're like, okay, why am I not hitting anything? And sometimes it's bad aim, of course, but other times it's just the enemy's build tinkering with your ability to hit them. North, domination mode, north side of the map, B in the middle of the cap here. And this game going to be tightly contested. It's going to be very late into the game where I start to think we have any chance of winning this, and there's a very specific reason for that. Well, we're going to go ahead and do the old time-tested blue team strategy, concede all the caps. Let's just let the red team run up the score and see what happens. Okay, this is a common strategy. The players who don't really understand how to win the game consistently only try and sink the enemy ships. Either they don't care about winning, or that's what they think is the more effective strategy. But you're going to lose a lot more games if we're not playing the caps like this, okay? So you need to ask yourself, have a honest assessment as a player. Am I playing the caps properly? Do I understand how to win domination mode game on the score? If you don't understand, then try and learn how to do so. And this channel's got a lot of coverage on that. Basically, any domination mode game video that I have on here will probably be talking about it in some capacity. But, you know, if you're going to be losing a lot of games, right? If your win rate is lower than what you think it should be, especially if it's well below 50%, which a lot of players are, then that's probably the root cause. You're not actually trying to win the game. You're just trying to sink the ships, which is unreliable. Okay, there's 4 possible outcomes for the games. Either the blue team wins on score, or the red team wins on score, the blue team sinks all the red team ships, or the red team sinks all the blue team ships. Okay, so if we're conceding one of those possibilities by not pursuing it, then the odds of that happening go way down, right? So basically you're going to be lowering your win rate by double digits, would be my assessment, if you're not properly playing the caps. So, and that's what the blue team will be attempted to do here. You can see we've given up A. They actually aggressively pushed in there. C, for some reason our destroyer squirted through the cap. He had the Tashkin on the ropes. And then decides to go into the eastern side of the map and do nothing of value whatsoever. And here, me and this other ship here, I think it's the Massachusetts, desperately trying to get on B, but red team doing a very good job covering it. You can see the ships to the southeast, and that's the a battleship and a cruiser, Ochakov, I believe, and then this Lion also pressing in over here. There's the Ochakov there. So very dangerous, very low chance that we're actually going to be able to pull this off, but it's either that or concede the game, right? Because if we're going to give up 3 caps right away, then the odds of winning that game should be in the single digits, if not just straight up 0% chance, which is what it usually seems like when you pursue that strategy. So, desperate times, desperate measures. We're trying to drive the Ochakov off here. We're combining our fire and then keeping an eye on this Lion here, because he's doing a good job understanding, okay, we already control A, we already control C, let's try and pressure B. This is from the Lions' perspective, of course. So good play by the red team overall to open this game. And you can see massive ship lead. That we're down 3, they're down 1. Each team's lost a destroyer, and you know, our other destroyer is on the western side of the map, kind of running for his life. So this game is looking very poor in terms of the possibility of winning the game for the blue team at this point in time. But we're going to soldier on and see what we can do here. Now, these light cruisers, the American light cruisers, basically what you want to be doing is peppering these guys with shots. And what it does is it will annoy them and try and keep them out of the area you're trying to protect. Or if it doesn't annoy them, then hopefully you'll just lean into them with massive damage and wind up killing them. So we're trying to pressure these guys, keep them off of B. Here comes a Benson running around now. He is the last remaining destroyer in red. And if we can go ahead and get him off the board, that would be step one, basically, in coming back with this game here. Now, the Jean Bart doing pretty good. He's already got the high caliber, and we're just about 5 minutes into the game. And that's tightening up the score a little bit. They're down 3 ships now. We're down 4. But look at the score at this point in time. We haven't gotten any background income coming in because we have yet to capture B. Meanwhile, they've had A and C basically unimpeded the entirety of the match, producing income. So they're about 210 points up right now, despite being relatively close in ships at the moment. Helena closing in here, and I'm fine just trading shots here. I'm keeping an eye on the map here because we do have the cruiser moving through C, and that's going to be one of those dragons, the Miyoko's, tier 6 cruiser, Japanese cruiser. So got to keep an eye on him. Lion over here, we'd like to get him down. The Massachusetts pressing in. Unfortunately, that's going to allow him to get crossfired from multiple angles. He needed to kind of stay back here, engage these ships 1v1. Benson pops back up, and we note his radar, or not his radar, his engine's busted. You can see those sparks coming out of the smokestack, and had been busted for a while. He didn't have the perk that allowed him to continue to move with the busted engine, so at that point in time, he was basically dead in the water, and even though it was a relatively long shot, we were able to wipe him out there. Lion coming around here, he does spot us over the ridge, which was a little disconcerting. We're still trying to capture the base. Okay, but now take a look at this British super heal that this thing has. Multiple fires on this thing. There's the second fire. He'll damage Khan and then pop the heal. And watch the life regenerate quickly into him. And oh boy, he's got some shots coming our way. AP is out. Is the game over? Not quite, but that's about a third of our health. That's a wicked turn of events there. So the line's got about 10,000 more health than when we started, and we got about a third less than when we started. And by the way, there's the cruiser popping up on the map right now, and we're in trouble. We're getting kind of forced into crossfires here. Forced off of B, which is disastrous. That is the last gasping breath that we have any chance to keep this game close when it comes to score. So at this point in time, we are now fully committed to winning by killing all the ships, which you can see, if you do a quick assessment, is a poor strategy because we're down 2 ships at this point in time. The score is out of control. This game is not looking good. So there's a lot of choice words being thrown around my living room at this point in time. But nevertheless, trying to get some damage on the Southern Dragon now. He's got the advantage here. His gun's much better trajectory, time to target shorter, more accurate, harder hitting HE. So I don't want to fight him at range, and you can see we're getting the heck out of here, hoping to get that island behind us. Dylan, thanks for subbing. There you are. We want to block the line of sight there between us and that dragon, because he will absolutely kill us. And then we're worried about these battleships who are capturing B here. They're trying to seal the deal, make sure nothing will stop them from losing the game. Good choice there. But if they kind of come around both sides of this island simultaneously, they're going to wreck us. Now, we do have a Kansas to the west of us, and he's mostly full health. He was kind of a backline Betty to start, but he's going to have a good close to this game, and the Destroyer is going to have some key moments as well. So we're going to do everything we can to win the game, but we are actually going to have some good cooperation and gameplay from the team here on out, even though the early portion of the game wasn't the best from the blue team's perspective. We're going to need to work in concert here. So step number 1, get those torps in on the Bismarck. And if I'm that destroyer, I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, since they don't have a destroyer, can we possibly maybe get on one of those caps? Now, 6 minutes left. Because they're sitting on B, we can't really get into B. And going all the way over to C, that's going to take several minutes. And then by that point in time, the score is going to be out of control. So you got to do that quick assessment and then say, okay, not worth it. Okay. If there's more time on the clock or he's got quicker access to one of those caps, then maybe you do take the time But here's the Helena. We got him broadside coming around. We got the AP loaded here, hoping for a Dev Strike shot, or at least a one shot. Don't quite get it. Do get a Citadel and a few other regular pens. Trying to squeeze off those shots over the ridge, but we've kind of flushed them out into the Kansas. Okay, so there's some good torps from the destroyer, whittling down the Bismarck, and now we see red on the Bismarck. We got to charge him, try and get him off as quickly as possible. Especially we don't. You can see his secondaries going off. I think it's that plane spotting the destroyer, unless the destroyer shot, which it's definitely a possibility. But there, the Kansas gets a nice shot on him, takes him down, and now if he can get that cruiser off the board, all of a sudden things aren't looking that bad. We just got to clear off this North Carolina quickly, and we got about 5 minutes to do it. He's not really in a position to run away, which you know, sometimes that'll be a good play, but the score is tightening up a little bit here, especially with the Helena going down now. We're only down about 60 points. Okay, and that's due to the fact that we're up 2 ships, a cruiser and a destroyer. What's that, about 150 extra points from killing those ships. And that tightens up the lead that they've accrued over the course of the game by having these caps bleed points the entire time. So I'm trying to come around here in conjunction with the Kansas. We're paying attention to the HP, and looks like the North Carolina comes off to an early lead here. So we're trying to get into the fight as quick as possible here. And we would like the destroyer to just kind of spot here. We can maybe use this little ridge that we were attempting to use earlier to fight the North Carolina, but we do need to remember, of course, that we were getting spotted earlier when trying to utilize it, and then there we do once again get spotted. So this ridge isn't as good as it looks on paper for firing from cover, but now we got fires on the North Carolina. We're chiming in, and we're kind of distracting. Okay, how does he deal with this situation? He's got the Kansas, but he's shooting at us. Okay, but you always, as the battleship player, you got to identify who's the biggest threat. Yeah, the Montpellier will lean on you over the course of 2-3 minutes and kill you, but the Kansas can kill you in one shot, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. You can see on the map there, the Carolina inexplicably goes broadside to the Kansas, who's going to go ahead and wipe him off the map with a great shot there. So great finish, I thought. Pretty exciting game and a good comeback with help from those 2 remaining teammates. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that game. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We've got lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.